Hey everybody, this is Kahook7. It's time for another episode of Pokémon Stadium. It's been a long time since we've recorded an episode of Pokémon Stadium, and I have a perfectly valid reason for that, which I don't know if I should go into. Let's just say that I've been through a lot in the last year, and I've had a lot of time to self-reflect during my very depressive time. But let's not get into that subject. It's time for some Pokémon Stadium, and I want to start off with a little fill cam. I can't remember exactly in which episode it was, but I accidentally said Special Def instead of Special Defense in one episode. And this was pointed out by level 27 Marker Man. I want to give credits to him for pointing this out to me. I accidentally mistook grass types to be physical instead of special. They actually are a special type in this generation. So I actually want to do a recalculation of what is the best starter to use against Brock. Bulbasaur has a special of 65 and Fine Whip has a base power of 35, whereas Squirtle has a base special of 50 and Bubble, which he learns, has a base power of 20. So in the end, probably Bulbasaur is the better Pokemon of the two to use. Who could have known? But that's it for the fill cam today. I want to thank level 27 Marker Man for pointing this out to me. So, today we're going to be tackling the Celadon Gym with its gym leader Erica. And in this episode I want to discuss a Generation 1 exclusive subject. But let's first get into choosing our Pokemon. There's a few types that we're going to be picking a few Pokemon for. Alright, for the Fire type Pokemon, we are going to pick two of them, which are Charizard and Magmar. Now, Charizard, we can use his Fly and Dig attacks, whereas Magmar has a 100% accurate Fire Punch, and on top of that, they both have pretty decent stats. For the Grass-type Pokemon, I actually want to use Victory Bell this time, with its Mega Drain and its Acid. It also has a pretty decent special. Alright, we also want a Pokemon that knows the move Psychic, and I think that Haunter is the best fit for this, because he also has Thunderbolt on top of his Psychic, and he has really good stats in my opinion. For the ground type Pokemon, I actually want to use Ductrio because of his incredible speed, and because of his speed he also has a high critical hit ratio. On top of that, he has moves like Rock Slide and Dig, which are going to be pretty useful. And finally, the water type Pokemon that I want to use is one that actually has an ice type move, so preferably one of the next Pokemon, Dewgong, Cloyster, or Lapras. I think the Pokemon that I want to use today is Lapras because of his really decent stats and the fact that he has Ice Beam and Bubble Beam. And that's the team we are going to be using today. Let's get into the first battle of the Celadon Gym. Alright, the Pokemon that we want to use in this battle are Charizard, Ductrio, and Lapras. Now, the Pokemon in the opponent's team have some pretty decent attacks that are super effective against Charizard and Lapras, but they should be able to survive those moves, without too much trouble. But first, let's get into the summary of today, which is going to be Charizard. Alright, the summary of Charizard, who is a Fire Flying type Pokemon with the moves Fly, Dig, Mimic, and Fire Spin. Its base sets are HP 78, Attack 84, Defense 78, Special 85, and Speed 100. I loved using Charizard over the other starter Pokemons back in the days of Generation 1 because he had many moves that I really liked, such as Fly, Earthquake, Double Edge, Body Slam, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Fissure, Hyper Beam, Slash, Substitute Toxic, and Sword Stance. Charizard started out as an underused Pokemon for a very long time, until one day, Pokémon X and Y came out, and he got 2 very strong Mega Evolutions since Generation 6. Charizard has been in the overused tier since then. His Mega Evolutions have high stats. Mega Charizard X is a Fire Dragon type Pokemon. His ability changes and he just becomes a really strong Pokemon to use. I personally see him most in double battles. Mega Charizard Y has the Drought ability, which was prior to Generation 5 a signature ability of Groudon. Drought summons an intense sunlight, which boosts the power of fire type attacks by 50%, lowers the power of water type attacks by 50%, lowers accuracy on thunder and hurricane by 50%, changes the Pokemon Castform and Cherrim into different forms, and it does a few more things in battle that would take a little bit too much time to all explain. I find it really weird that Charizard got 2 Mega Evolutions. Nintendo must have been a bit biased towards both Mewtwo and Charizard or something, but whatever, admit it, we all love this Pokemon, don't deny it. I remember when I was really young, people would always argue that Charizard and Gyarados were both Dragon-type Pokemon, and obviously they weren't Dragon-type Pokemon, and I was the only one who knew that among the group. And I always got bashed for not knowing about Charizard and Gyarados not being Dragon-type Pokemon. Whatever. Charizard in this generation wasn't that great. Recommended moveset would be Fire Blast, Earthquake, Sword Stance, and Body Slam for paralysis, or Hyper Beam. Charizard in the Prime Cup can beat up Exeggutor really well. You really don't want to send out a Charizard when there's still a Starmie or an Alakazam on the opponent's team. Those two can beat him up really fast, and in the worst case scenario you might be trying Fire Blast on an Exeggutor, but the opponent switches to Starmie or Alakazam and then you accidentally burn them. This is a really bad situation because Burn lowers attack, which is useless on them. You can't use Thunder Wave or Toxic anymore, and they can easily recover from the burn damage. You actually really want those two paralyzed or asleep for how strong and how fast they are. But that's for another summary.
What's this? There, it's a hit. There's the attack. A savage hit.
Alright, the summary of Charizard should now be over. What you actually want to do in this battle is start off with Charizard and use Fly until Wigglytuff comes out, and Wigglytuff, when Wigglytuff comes out, he will do a Thunder Wave, which you can avoid by switching into Ductrio. However, the plan didn't go exactly as planned, because I'd never seen him switch from Rattata to Wigglytuff. Ductrio can give Wigglytuff a tough time, but he's not able to KO him, because Body Slam does too much damage on him. However, you have a high critical hit chance, which you can bet on with your digs. And that's the bulk of this battle. Charizard and Lapras should perfectly be able to handle the rest of the battle. But let's get into the commentary for today's episode. What I want to discuss today is how accuracy works and what the 99.6% glitch is. This is an error in programming where moves that you presume are 100% accurate can actually miss by default without any increases or decreases in accuracy or evasion in either Pokemon currently in the battle. And to understand why this happens, I first need to explain how accuracy works. Alright. How accuracy works is that it is expressed in the game as 100% or 50% or 30%. But in the programming, it is actually stored or expressed as a byte in binary. And in a byte, you can store numbers from 0 to 255. A 100% accurate move is expressed as 255, which is the highest number you can store in a byte. An 80% accurate move is expressed as 204 out of 255. If a move's accuracy is a decimal number, I don't know whether the number will be rounded up or rounded down, or maybe left as it is as a decimal number. I simply could not find any information about this on the internet. But that's not everything there is to accuracy. This would be perfectly fine without any glitches if this was everything about accuracy. I first want to finish off this battle before I go into the next part of how accuracy works. Let's see. Lapras should be able to do the job.
Oh, it's Lapras! The remaining Pokemon.
Alright, let's just do an Ice Beam, which is a same type attack bonus move. We're lucky that that missed, but Lapras is a very bulky Pokemon, so would have survived it perfectly fine. And that's a 1-hit KO. Now, let's get into the next battle, and I will explain the rest of how accuracy works. Alright, for this battle, I think we want Haunter, Lapras, and Victory Bell. Alright, let's go.
How will the gym's second opponent conduct battle? We'll need a strong effort to win.
Now, let me explain. But wait, this Pidgeotto can actually survive a Thunderbolt under normal circumstances. Let's hope for a 1-hit KO. Okay, so every time that a move is executed, the game generates a random number. Let's call this number X, and this number is between 1 and 255. And what the intention was if this random number X was equal or less than the move's accuracy as a bite, the move will hit. And if the random generated number X is higher than the move's accuracy as a bite, the move misses. An example would be an 80% accurate move is expressed as 204 out of 255. If the random number is 207, the move hits. If it's 219, the move misses. That was what the intention was. However, they made a slight error in programming. Instead of programming for the move to hit when the random generated number X is less or equal than the move's accuracy, they programmed it to only hit when X is less than the move's accuracy. Alright, the critical hit by Pidgeotto is not what I expected. The battle will be quite a bit harder without Haunter.
This is a fight between two
So,
types of Pokemon.
If a 100% accurate move is 255 out of 255, and the random generated number is also 255, it was the intention for the move to hit. However, because of the error in programming, where only numbers less than the move's accuracy hit, the move will not hit if the random generated number is equal to 255. I'll have some extra examples on screen. I hope I explained it right. But that's about it. for accuracy and the 99.6% accuracy glitch. Let's get into the next battle. Alright, for this battle, we want to use Lapras, Charizard, and Dugtrio again. Now, Lapras is going to have some trouble against the Nidorino and Nidorina because they have super effective moves on Lapras. Parasect is a Pokemon that I haven't seen him used before, or her used before, I'm sorry. It does have the move Spore, which is dangerous, but I knew that Lapras' special was high enough to one-hit KO this Parasect. Lickitung is also a Pokemon you don't see that often in this battle. It has Fire Blast, Ice Beam, and Surf. It covers a lot of types, but nothing particularly dangerous to our Lapras. I know that Lickitung can be quite tanky himself. Also Supersonic, which I didn't list. But our Lapras doesn't have a particularly high attack, so it won't hurt itself that much in Confusion, if it is hurting itself in Confusion.
There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokémon. Oh, it's Marowak! The remaining Pokémon count.
Alright, Marowak should also be a piece of cake if we don't hit ourselves in Confusion. Perfectly fine, we only did 20 damage to ourselves.
What now?
Seismic Toss does 50 damage in this case because they're level 50. Oh, come on now. It should snap out of Confusion next turn.
There, it's a hit. The intense battle.
What I am surprised about is that Lapras is faster than Marowak.
Ice Beam. Super effective.
And there we go. That's the third battle taken care of. Now the next battle is against the gym leader. Alright, for the final battle of today, we want to use Charizard, Magmar, and Lapras. Let's go.
It's on! The battle against Erica, the Celadon Gym leader and a grass Pokémon artist. Smart strategy is the key to victory.
Victory Bell has Sleep Powder, which you need to be careful of, but we can fly away from it this turn. And it doesn't have that high of an accuracy. Now we just want the critical hit, actually.
Are they testing each other's strength?
However, it doesn't have a move that is super effective against us. Wow, luck is really not on our side today.
Oh, no, it fell asleep. Falling asleep is going to make this a one-sided fight.
We should be able to stay in the battle, because Razor Leaf that it has will critical hit, but it will be not very effective, because we are quadruple resistant against it. Acid won't do that much damage, and Cut will do a decent amount of damage, but not that much. Acid may poison us, I think.
Neither one is conceding an inch. It blew up again.
Charizard is the main Pokemon during my test runs in this gym battle. He tends to ace through all the Pokemon under normal circumstances.
There it goes. Missed the target.
Today is not your day, Charizard.
What'll it do?
I can tell.
There, it's a hit. Fireworks are.
Alright, here we go. One last time. And then Acid will probably KO us.
What's next? Oh,
Alright, I want a critical hit for compensation.
The heated battle rages on. There's the attack. Super effective.
There we go.
What's this? What's the weak spot? It's finally
And another
taken
critical
down.
hit for Erica.
What will the next Pokemon be? Oh, it's mine.
Alright,
It
Magmar,
has to make
it's up
up
to you
the
now.
lost ground. How
You
will
need
the
to finish him
Type
off
affect
with your
that?
Fire Punch.
Oh, Fire Punch! Perfect day!
There we go.
Goes down after a good fight. Which Pokemon is coming out? Oh, it's Vileplume!
No, Vileplume.
The Pokemon
Let's see.
are entirely different types.
Doesn't have any moves such as Sleep Powder or Spore to put us to sleep. So this should be a fair and square battle of who is the strongest.
Looks like a bad Pokemon choice. What now? Powerful strike. It's a head-on collision of power versus power.
Alright, with some luck, it should be KO in this turn.
Wow, that's an effective hit.
There we go.
And it's down.
Now its last Pokemon might be
There's only
Execute,
one Pokemon
but
left in
I'm
reserve.
never sure about it.
Oh,
There we go,
Bloom.
Bloom. Now,
The
Bloom
remaining
actually has
Pokemon
Sleep Powder,
count is 2 to
and
1. The
as long as
next
Sleep
battle
Powder
continues.
misses, we have aced this battle.
Ah! Smack the weak spot.
Acid
What's
won't
that?
do a lot of damage, just like on Charizard.
What a
And there we go.
furious
This is
battle.
going to be the final hit of this episode.
How's that? Super effective. Oh, it's down.
And that's the end of it.
That's it. Stage clear.
Now, there actually was kind of a ramp up in difficulty compared to the previous gyms, in my opinion. From here on out, it's only going to get more and more difficult, so I will be aiming to use the strongest Pokemon from now on. Receive the key from Erica and open Koga's Tower. But this has been it. Next time, we're going to be taking on the Fuchsia Gym with its gym leader Koga. This has been Gigoku7. See you guys next time.